Hi, my name is Teresa. I'm Kim and Lee's ex-wife, I suppose you'd call me. She's asked me if I could do this recording for you so you could also get my point of view. So I hope that I'm not going to read it. I was writing this till 3 o'clock this morning, so okay, here goes. From the time I met him, he was a quiet soul, never the centre of attention, always on the outside looking in, and that's what I loved, and still do love, about her. Nothing has changed for me, which I find amazing. But she really is my soulmate. Sorry. And we've been through so much together. Gone to war and back to back and come up smelling, if not of roses, then of not shit either. She wrote her book when she needed to recover from her laser treatment she had. She hadn't realised that she was getting burnt when she was having it done, but thought it was supposed to hurt that much. It was bright red and burning, and what was supposed to have been a positive start turned into a nightmare, with weeping skin and blisters and scabs that took over 10 weeks to fully recover from. But she had to go back to work after 2 weeks. I still haven't read her book, much to my shame, I suppose, you could say, but it tears me apart. I lived some of it with her, and you could say it's all too raw. You would be right, but the things that happen to you are sometimes better left in the past, where you won't ever forget them, but you can leave them there, safe in the belief you won't have to go there again. That you've learnt from it and you can move on, but sometimes you just can't move on from, and this is where the suicide comes in. She used to go for a quiet drink, but I knew there was never a quiet drink. I'll be home early, she would promise, but I knew in the pit of my stomach that she wouldn't. Once she was out, she was on the wind, going from pub to the next. She would drink as soon as she got home from work. She would tell me not to buy any beer. Then, if I didn't, she would go mad. Life was hell by this stage. She wouldn't come home. I would call her, and she would say, "I'll be home in half an hour." Then she would come home in the early hours, roaring drunk, saying she might as well commit suicide. "I've nothing to live for," was a term that was a mantra that was repeated time and time again. Then she would go out of the house in such a temper and all upset, she would push me out of the way, and I would beg her to stay in the house, where she would be safe, but no, she had to go. She would disappear for hours. I would be worried sick. And I used to check my son was asleep and still okay and safe. And then I would go out walking the streets myself looking for her. Or I would put my son in the car and drive around looking for her. I must have done miles in that time. We lived on a very busy main road, and it runs right through Frome. It's one of the junctions it's a three-way road, and it's, as I said, really busy. People at night tend to, like boy racers, tend to actually whiz along there, and there would be no stopping. Anyway, we lived on a very busy road through Frome with a mini roundabout. She would lie in the middle of the roundabout, waiting for a lorry to come. Mad. She used to tell me that she thought of jumping out in front of lorries or a train. She knew where all the train tracks were and where it would be the best place to jump out of. She knew how to commit suicide, and soon I learnt all the ways too, and what to hide, what to keep hidden, and all secret places to hide things. We had a knife I called Kenny. I still do, as a matter of fact, have this knife. The sort of big chef's knife that the chefs use to chop in. Do you know what I mean? That sounds really bad. And she said she often thought that was a good way. In the end, she had taken to going out all the time, leaving me home to worry. One night she came home and was ranting and raving so much I couldn't do anything with her. She couldn't stand up, but kept pushing me away with a hateful look in her eyes. She'd been drinking whiskey, and that fried her brain, or something. I had to get her parents. I just couldn't cope any longer. By this stage, she was drinking so much that she couldn't remember what she had said or done, and that's when I couldn't cope anymore. And I said that she had to sort things out and do something, because I couldn't live like it anymore. Our life was shit, and I couldn't cope with seeing her destroy herself. And no matter what I said to her, or tried to do for her, or talk to her, I think, she just didn't, there was no response, because I think she was so drunk that she didn't remember, and that's why she could just carry on doing what she was doing. Anyway, it was the wake-up call she needed. That's when she went to the doctors, and her transition started. Don't get me wrong, it hasn't all been plain sailing from then on, but at least we're facing the world together again. I don't know if there's anyone out there who perhaps has a partner, or is in my situation, shall we say, but if you want to, then obviously email me, drop me a line, and perhaps, if we can help one another. Okay, that's it for now. Take care. Love to you all. Bye.